Hi Jacob, thanks for sending your question. Just want to remind you that Snap Math is open from Sunday to Thursday, 4 to 10 p.m. So if you send your question during that time, we will make sure and get back to you right away. Let's go ahead and focus on this nasty little bugger. To simplify it, we have a couple things we need to do. The first thing we need to do is turn it into a multiplication problem. I call it the flip and switch. So basically, division is multiplication by a reciprocal. So what we're going to do is flip this second term right here upside down so that the 15y to the negative 5 is on the top, and then the 8x to the negative 3 is on the bottom. And we're going to switch this to multiplication. So the problem now becomes 20x to the negative 4 over 27y squared times, and we're going to flip this guy, 15y to the negative 5 over 8x to the negative 3. So we got that step done. The next thing we're going to do is group like terms. This is now a multiplication problem, so we don't have to worry about keeping things separate. It's just the stuff on the top stays on the top and the stuff on the bottom stays on the bottom. So I want to group my numbers with my numbers and my letters with my letters. So what we really have going on top is 20 times 15 times x to the negative 4 times y to the negative 5. I'm going to put my numbers over here. On the bottom, I have 27 times 8 times x to the negative 3 times y squared. So all I did was group my numbers, group my x's, and kind of group my y's on top and bottom like that to make it easier to simplify. Step number 2 is done, and step number 3, we're going to simplify our numbers first, and we're going to do that by factoring. So I'm going to check to see if I have any like terms going on here. It looks like I have two even numbers here with 20 and 8. And they have a 4 in common. So I'm going to factor out a 4 from both of those. So I will have a 5 where the 20 was, and I will now have a 2 where the 8 was. And it looks like we have, again, a common factor with 15 and 27. They have a common factor of 3. So let's go ahead and factor that 3 out of them both. If I factor 3 out of 15, I will get 5. If I factor 3 out of 27, I will get 9. Okay, that step is done. Now we're going to simplify the exponents using rules of exponents. So simple review of dealing with division and multiplication of exponents here. We're actually going to only be using the second rule. But if I have the same base, notice I have an x on the bottom here for my base in both of them, but different exponents, what I can do is just group them all with the same base and add the exponents together. So multiplication goes to addition. If I have, oh dear, that's supposed to be an x on the bottom. Okay, so if I have, again, x to the a divided by x to the b instead of x to the a times x to the b, what I can do is group them on the same base and separate the exponents by subtraction. So division goes to subtraction, multiplication goes to addition, division goes to subtraction. It looks like I actually have two division problems here. So I have x to the negative 4 divided by x to the negative 3. So what I really have is x, it's going to be x on the top, x to the negative 4 minus negative 3. Division goes to subtraction. X to the negative 4 minus negative 3. Again, I have a division problem occurring with the y's. Same base, different exponents. Division goes to subtraction. So I have y is on the top, to the negative 5 minus 2. And then this will just turn to a 1 on the bottom. Let's go ahead and simplify. Multiplying these numbers together, I have a 25 for my number on top, and I have a 18 for my number on the bottom. X to the negative 4 minus negative 3. Negative 4 minus negative 3 is really negative 4 plus 3, because these negatives cancel each other out. So I really have x to the negative 1, and y to the negative 5 minus 2 means I have y to the negative 7. Taking a look at the potential answers that you have here, it looks like they don't have any negatives in their exponents. That's okay. We'll just go ahead and simplify that part. It's best to just do that at the end because things can get really complicated otherwise. We know that if the negative is in the exponent, it really means that this guy's just on the wrong side of the tracks. He's just supposed to be down on the bottom. So x to the negative 1 really means I have 1 over x to the 1. If I have y to the negative 7, that really means I have 1 over y to the 7. Putting that all together, I only have a 25 left on the top, and I have an 18 times x to the 1 is just x, times y to the 7, which is one of your answers. I believe it is D. So 25 over 18, x times y to the 7. Wow, that was really complicated. Thanks for sending your question, Jacob, and I look forward to answering more of your questions using Snap Math in the future.